In this video, you learn how to sing scales on guitar to develop a much better ear for playing music. If you want to be able to easily transcribe songs, chord progressions, melodies, solos onto the guitar by ear, then learning how to sing and internalizing the sound of scales is essential because this is where the majority of the music you hear comes from. Hi, this is Simon Candy from Acoustic Guitar Lessons Online.net, and in this lesson I sit down with ear training specialist Dylan Andrews to discuss and demonstrate the very best ways to learn to sing scales on guitar. Now don't fret, if you can't sing like me, don't worry, this is not about singing per se. This is functional singing, pitching notes, not bringing quality to the notes like a singer would. So if you can't sing like me, and the thought of having to sing petrifies you like it would me, don't worry, we're not talking about that at all here, okay? We're just simply talking about pitching notes, as you're about to see. In this lesson, you're going to learn why it is so important to learn to sing scales on guitar and the many benefits this will have for your playing. You'll also learn the best exercises and drills that Dylan will take us through to develop this skill, and better yet, easy ways to make these exercises and drills more challenging so you can develop your ear even further. So let's get into it. We're going to run through the top 5 tips for creating or developing a great ear for music. But in your opinion, Dylan, before we get into that, what would you say the benefits of having a great ear? What does that bring to your abilities as a musician?
Yeah, the ear training, like you said, it absolutely has been lost. I remember as a kid when I was growing up, there really wasn't YouTube. Their tablature wasn't really a super big thing, didn't exist for a long time. So
Yeah.
it was either you figure it out by ear or you don't learn the tune,
Yeah.
But ear training is lacking in a lot of musicians' ability because I think one big reason is they don't realize how important it is. And like you said, one big skill or benefit of being able to do it is that you can learn songs by ear, which is huge, but that's only one thing that you get out of it. You also become a better songwriter, better improviser. You can take what you hear in your head and be able to play it on your instrument right away. And that's a huge skill right there because we have no limitations when we're thinking of cool ideas in our heads. We don't have any knowledge limitations or ability limitations, like going fast or playing certain things. We can just freely think of it. And if you can't take that and put it on your instrument, you're losing countless of ideas that could have turned into great songs and great solos or whatever. But also a big thing too, that ear training does is you know exactly how things are going to sound before you play them, right? Especially if you're improvising, if you don't know what a certain note is going to sound like before you play it, then you're just a reactive player. You hit the note, and then after the fact, you know if it sounds good or not. And you
Yeah.
can know what notes work in a key, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be a good note to hit in that moment. So if you really want to become great and have the most amount of fun playing your instrument, then training your ear is what the majority of musicians need.
With that, let's go with in no particular order, but your first tip, Dylan, for creating a great ear for music would be what?
Yeah, sure. So my first tip is really a foundational thing. And like you said, Simon, this is not something that we master and grow out of. You just get better and better at doing it. But the first tip is singing scales. If you do want to be able to transcribe guitar solos, melodies, chord progressions, songs, know what notes are going to sound like before everything, foundationally, the first step is being able to sing scales, ascending and descending, because everything you hear is built off of a particular scale. And the majority of music falls into basically only 2 scales. It's major and minor scales. If you get to the point where you can sing these accurately, reliably, and consistently, that's going to go a really long way to being able to do everything that you want to do as a guitar player, as a musician. Because like I said, all songs, everything you write, everything you do is built off of scales. And when you're doing this, a good first step is to just sing it up and down. You can choose major or minor. The key absolutely doesn't matter because no matter what key you're in, the intervals you're singing the scale degrees are going to sound the same. So singing them up and down, and this is very important to know, is that the reason that I'm talking about singing is because singing is the absolute best way that you can train your ear. What we're really doing in ear training is you are trying to get your brain to memorize sounds that you're hearing. So you're trying to get to the point to where every single time you hear, let's say, the fifth note of a scale, you automatically know, and your brain tells you that oh, that's the 5, then this is the third note of the scale, this is the fourth note of the scale. And the best way and quickest way to train your brain to memorize these sounds is to sing them, because you're not only hearing them, you're feeling them, you're creating them. It goes so much quicker. So you want to be able to sing everything you do. I also want to say with that is that you don't have to be a good singer. And when I'm teaching my students and I'm doing my stuff, I'll sing sometimes too, and I'll do it all the time when I'm training my own ear. I'm not a good singer at all. All you need to be able to have is what's called functional singing. Is if you hear a pitch, you can sing that pitch. There's another type of singing called aesthetic singing, and that's where professional singers and people who sing and their tone is awesome. That's aesthetic singing. If you have that, great. I don't. You only need functional singing. So that's why singing is so important when it comes to training your ear. And when you're singing scales, it's very important that you sing the scales without the aid of your guitar. So if you just play a note and then you sing it, and then you play the next note in the scale and then you sing that, you're not actually training your ear. You're just training your ability to hear a pitch and sing that pitch. But ear training is knowing what that pitch sounds like before anything is played. So a good starting point when you're singing scales is to play the root on the guitar or on your instrument, sing it, and then without the guitar, sing the second interval, the second note of the scale. And then you can play it on your guitar to check if that was right. And then you can sing the third interval and then play it on the guitar to check if that's right. And then the fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, ascending, and then you can go descending. And once you feel really good with this, you just start increasing the amount of notes that you can do without the guitar. For instance, instead of just singing the 2 and then checking it, you can sing the 2 and then the 3 and then check it on your guitar, then the 3, then the 4, then the 5, then the 6 to the 7, and the end goal you want to get to is where you can sing the scale up and down without the aid of your guitar. You definitely want to check it, and also you want to double, triple check that your guitar is in tune, because if you're using your guitar to check if you're right and it's out of tune, you actually can just be doing damage and training your ear to hear in not the way that you want. When you can sing it ascending and descending in major and minor, that's going to go a really long way. And then other ways, if you feel like you're already good at this, or when you get that and you want more of a challenge, then you can speed up how fast you're doing it. You can change keys. You can choose one note to not sing. So for instance, if you're going to sing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just don't sing the 3 and see if you can still accurately jump to that correct interval, because that's going to start training you on melodies. A lot of the times melodies ascend and descend scales, but they jump around too, so it's good to train your ear that way. That would be the first thing that I would really focus on, is singing scales. That's going to help you the most, especially when you're starting out. And this is still to this day something that I do almost every single day. Is I warm up by singing scales, and then I just make it harder and harder and challenge myself. But singing scales is really key to ear training.
That is great. That is, yeah, I agree 100% with all of that. And I would highlight the point, because I can't sing to save my life either. So
No,
it's absolutely nothing to do
I'm
with,
awful.
oh yeah. You find that sometimes, I don't know if you've had this experience, but if you play guitar, people just assume you can sing. Oh, you must be able to sing, you know, you play
Oh, yeah.
guitar. And it's like,
Uh-huh.
no, I cannot sing.
Oh, yeah. There's been many times where people have tried to put a mic in front of me, and I tell them, no
Yeah,
way, you don't
yeah.
want it. You don't want it. Yeah, don't assume that.
Exactly. As long as you can, yeah, as you said, you know, hit a pitch. It doesn't have to sound pretty. It doesn't have to have all, you know, the tone and the vibrato and anything like that. It's just hit the pitch. And I mean, I had instructors in school when I was studying music that were phenomenal players, but yeah, couldn't sing either. And when they're doing their ear training and so forth, you know, they're hitting the pitch, but it's certainly not the quality of a singer. So anyone who's thinking, I can't
Sound's
sing,
not there. Yeah.
it does not matter at all. If you would like help with your finger picking, the kind of help that gets you results in the most direct, efficient, fun way possible, then check out the Ultimate Fingerpicking Guitar course, a complete system for fingerpicking acoustic guitar, so simple even a beginner can learn it. I've carefully designed this course to do all the heavy lifting for you, as far as knowing exactly what to do, how to do it, and when to do it in regard to mastering the art of fingerpicking guitar. All you have to do is follow the pathway I've laid out for you. In the Ultimate Fingerpicking Guitar course, you will learn and master all the key concepts, methods, strategies, and techniques needed for fingerpicking, so you'll never put your guitar down in frustration again, thinking, how the hell do I do this? You will also discover the exact order in which to do things, avoiding the all too common mistakes most people make when learning to fingerpick guitar, saving you precious time and frustration. Have your hand held every step of the way with the Ultimate Fingerpicking Guitar course. It will take you from wherever you are at right now with your fingerpicking to where you would like to be, enjoying every part of the process along the way. So click the link in the description below the video and check out the Ultimate Fingerpicking Guitar course. Let me know in the comments section what acoustic guitar topics you'd like to see covered in future videos. I love hearing from you. I read all comments and I do my very best to answer them all. So don't be shy, drop me a line. I would love to hear from you. If you like this video, then hit the like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And of course, hit that all important notification bell button so YouTube can tell you when I've released a new video. This is Simon Candy from acousticguitarlessonsonline.net. As always, thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate your time, and I also look forward to seeing you in the next video.